Now then everyone, hope you're all running well. It's me, Gary House. I've got a bit of a review of the new Nike Pegasus 3 GORE-TEX, I think that's what they're called. And I'm going to mix it in with some training tips, some thoughts on my own training going forwards, so you can skip bits or just jump to the shoe review if that's what you want, if that's what you're here for. And then that will hopefully help you learn a bit about your own training, might have a few laughs along the way, and yeah, it's also serve as a bit of a kind of journal or diary for myself. So first up, why the Nike Pegasus 3 Trail GORE-TEX? Pro Direct Running have been very kind. They've sent me the shoes first of all, so I haven't paid for these shoes out of my own cash. They were sent to me, and yeah, it's just to help with their launch of the shoes. So they haven't asked me to do this review. They haven't asked me to give much of an opinion on the shoe either. I'm just using it for you guys. I'll be honest and say the timing's pretty good for me to start testing out some different types of shoes, because my own training has been pretty relaxed over the last few weeks. Nearly a month now since the UTS Ultra Trail Snowdonia 100 miler, and if you follow me on social media, you know that didn't really end well. Didn't end how I wanted. I cut that one short. I was a DNF at around 70 miles out of the 100, but I'd struggled from about 4 hours in with full body cramping, severe sweating. Came out of nowhere, if I'm honest, and the run was so hard to begin with. Once I got to about 18 hours, that was just it, my body gave in. So it was a bit of an anticlimax to some good training. The plan is for autumn and winter, I guess it's October now, just to build up some easy volume on these lovely trails without too much intensity. I'm a pacer at the Autumn 100, but that should be good fun. I've ran the Autumn 100 with Centurion before, and yeah, so being a pacer, and hopefully it should be at the sharp end as well, will be pretty exciting. So hopefully by the end of this month I'll have built up some good easy volume. I'm also getting on the watt bike quite a lot, hitting the strength sessions quite a lot at the moment, 3 or 4 times a week. Once November hits, I will officially be marathon training. So I've entered Seville Marathon in February. Just not too keen on marathon running in the UK, apart from when I watch London. I get inspired to do London, and yeah, if I'm going to put all that hard graft into a marathon training block, I would much prefer to be rewarded with at least a bit of sun, some nice food, some nice wine, and a bit of a city break. So yeah, that's the plan. Anyway, it will depend on if I can keep my motivation high through the winter for that. Well, I say that, it doesn't rely on motivation, because it just relies on discipline. The marathon running or any training for your next race, don't think that you need high motivation every single day. You need the motivation at the start to get going, but then there will be days where motivation is low, where you lose your mojo, that kind of thing. That's the time that you rely on the habits that you've built and just the discipline, whether that's your own accountability or external accountability. Some people need that. Right, so let's talk shoe. I've done nearly 10k in them, and that's why you're here. So first up, I think they look pretty decent, yeah? Like, we judge on looks first of all, I guess, with the shoes, and the colourways are nice. I like the fact that they haven't gone with white. I'd be happy getting them muddy, taking them out on a trail, not feeling too precious about them, not thinking, should I wear these out in the forest or should I be going for painting them on Boxing Day with the lads? Apart from that, some of the stats I'm going to put up on the screen now, but the stack is just under 25 mil at the back, and at the front it's 15, which leaves it at 9.5 mil drop, which for me is quite a lot. So it just took a little bit of getting used to, if I'm honest. I'm not saying that amount of drop is positive or negative, it's just something different to what I'm used to, especially on the trail. It will go along with the React foam in the shoe, which is quite common in a lot of the Nike shoes. So if you're used to the React foam, you'll know what that feels like. What that does do, straight out the box, straight out onto the trails, is give you a kind of sense of comfort. Now, again, that's just something that takes me a little bit of while to get used to, especially on the trail. Comfort, shoes being made for comfort. I've spent years bashing around the trails in quite minimalist shoes, and I quite like the feeling of the ground, having lots of proprioception. So you do lose a little bit of that with that kind of level of cushion. But I would say if you're someone who's used to Nike shoes, Nike running shoes, if you're making your way on from the roads onto the trails, if you're just kind of someone who likes that bit of cushioning, I think it's a bit of a sweet spot, because there's good level of cushion, but there is bounce there. You can feel this React foam, at least enough to think, right, I can start running a little bit quicker on the hard packed trail like I'm surrounded by. So is the fact that it's GORE-TEX and GORE-TEX material a big selling point for me? Personally, no. I've been in some rough conditions over the years, and I've never kind of wished for a waterproof shoe. In my experience, they've always held the water in more than anything. So the drainage is a bigger factor for me in a shoe. Unfortunately, I haven't had much of a chance to touch on that. What I will say is the material of the GORE-TEX vastly improved from what I've kind of felt in the past. So that's a plus. The uppers still feel very comfy. It feels well made, well put together. I mean, the caveat to that is I've splashed around in a few puddles. I haven't really spent the day in the rain, you can see here, even though we've had lots of rain this week. So one of the tests I do like to do with new shoes is the kind of the flexibility test, and it's quite, you can see there, I mean, it's a stiff sole, which if you want more stiffness on the trail, that is a good thing. Obviously you've got the React foam there, but the kind of flexibility in the shoe is pretty limited, yeah? So, but what you lose in that flexibility, you do gain in stiffness. We all know kind of how important that is these days. And that's a good thing if, like I say, you're going out on the trails like I've just tried them. You maybe want to inject a bit of pace into the session, or you're running some easy miles on good trails, want to finish with some strides or some hill sprints even. Now I'm a size 9 and they're around 315 grams in size 9. Plenty of room for them. Do you feel that bit of weight? Because for me, 315 grams is getting up there again, but I think these days you've just got to remind myself that there is more cushioning in this shoe. It's not going to be weighing 250 grams. Does it feel heavy? No, it doesn't actually. I've just done a couple of strides, which is how I like to test out a shoe as well towards the end. Got a bit more confident each time in them. Acceleration was good, so good bounceability in them. But again, that was on good hard packed trail. One thing I'm not too sure about is that bit of blue tack stuck around the front of the toes. Answers on a postcard with that one. If anyone would like to tell me in the comments what that is for. Maybe it's for just protect it against a bit of debris. I don't know, if I'm honest. I'm guessing. Obviously, for things like durability and how well the foam keeps and the build quality of the uppers, I can't really comment too much on that until I've ran more hours and more miles in them. So maybe in future videos. So maybe what I'll do is keep you updated as we go along through my training videos. I'll be running quite a lot of miles in them, these I imagine, as I kind of up the mileage, up the volume on these easy trails local to me. A couple of the things that might be slightly worrying as a trail runner are the fact that, like, you can see the ground here. That's what most of it is like. It's kind of good single track, it's well used paths, but it is a little bit wet from the rain over the last few days. And the shoe, although the grip kind of on first sight looks pretty good, I have slid around a little bit, so which is pretty unnerving as a trail runner as you increase speed. When you're also, when you're running at a slower effort, which again I've done quite a lot in this shoe so far, the fact that this part of the shoe out the back really kind of, I guess, emphasises the fact that it's got that drop, and it encourages the kind of heel striking. Not that heel striking is bad, it's just that it feels like it's encouraging me to heel strike more than my other trail shoes might do. So yeah, if I was going to improve something about the shoe, it would definitely be the grip. So just bear that in mind if you're gonna go out and buy the shoe. So overall, my thoughts would be, if you enjoy Nike as a brand and those kind of shoes, then definitely look to them if you're making the transition to trail. I wouldn't try them on anything too technical. Definitely no kind of harsh conditions, no real mud or fell or steep mountain, that kind of thing. Also, I think they are built for comfort. They feel comfortable. The upper is really well made, and the kind of sock lining, all that is good stuff. But they also do give a good level of responsiveness. So that React foam, I think, through the midsole does give you a bit of bounce. So yeah, I would stick to easy sessions, moderate sessions with some kind of reps at the end, nothing too technical, and you'll be okay. I'm enjoying learning more about the channel and how to improve it though, so if you've got any suggestions, stick them in the comments below. If you've got any questions about this Nike shoe that I've missed, let me know too, and I will do my best to get back to you. But apart from that, I will see you in the next video.